My real phone today, I should say. I want to go where the captain at. He got the best view in the house. To learning what actually went down in these pods. So today's show will be quite the journey. Where did oh, he's here. He's leaving us, girl. He walked faster than most people. Y'all, Al got on camera Ray-Ban shades. Al, show them your hey.
What's up, baby?
Show them your shades. This man is the PI. He's a private investigator.
These are the Ray-Ban stories.
Man, he have a camera and a video recorder on his glasses. He can take pictures. He can Bluetooth, so he can talk from them. When I tell y'all, this is the first thing I'm buying. I am buying this. Yeah, I'm following him. Yeah. Say hi to my YouTube. He's our tour guide. He's amazing.
Thank you.
He knows everything.
Trying my best.
You're doing well. Thank you. You're gonna take me to a corner. Got my mace on me. That was the first. Gang, gang.
Doing that? He shows the path of least resistance.
Also a big island because of the story. The dimension of this island is only 900 meters long by 300 meters large. But also this island is divided by two parts different. There is a low part and high part. There's 1,800 people who live here
Oh, wow.
permanently. Muslims and Christians, they live in this small island like a brothers or sisters, but from different mothers. And also this small island was one of the places where some European countries were fighting each other for many times and many years. Why? Because all over the West African coast it was set up by European containers. They would do European containers, they were doing some trade. Ivory, gold, and leather. The reason why they was fighting to have this small island because it was very small, it was so easy to protect the trade in here. And also the Senegalese coast is so close to America's coast, it was so easier to ship things from here to America. And also this small island, the first Europeans who set foot on this island was Portuguese in 1444. And when the Portuguese arrived in 1444, the island was empty, no one was living here. But it was only some local men who used to fishing around the island. And those fishermen was calling this island Beer Island with the spell B-E-T-R. The meaning of that beer was for some small trees. And those small trees they called beer in our local language called water. When the Portuguese arrived, they changed the name of beer to Isla de la Palma in 1444, and they built the first building in 1482. That's the police station today, which was the first building built on the island. When they built that first building, they was using it for chapel. And after that building, also there was more buildings was built by the Portuguese. And after the Portuguese also was arrived with the Dutch in 1518. The name of the island also was changed again to Goede Reed, which means harbor. And the Dutch built the two forts on this island. Those two forts were to protect their trade on this island. After Dutch also it was the French and British. And 1677, when French was occupying this island, the British was completely
We don't fuck with the police. Y'all know where that comes from?
This is like, this is the governor's square. It's called the governor's square. Why it's called the governor's square? Because if you look at the straight there, that yellow building was a French governor palace. And this was the stage where they used to perform service. And this house there, the red one, the first red one on the left, it was a house also where they were training some of our people during the slavery. Because like there was also our guard and and just in this small island, slave trade was suffering here during 304 years. From 1568 to 48, and close to 40 million was all of the West African island. But also close to 6 million died because of mistreatment, deprivation, and sickness. And this island was one of the most important slave trade in Central West Africa because I already mentioned all these and then there were prices. And also there was only the time French, Haiti, or French Caribbean. There was only the time on their fire, and when they were important, that's Ghana, yeah. There was the French, English, We bought it.
I don't like to touch animals, so I hope he don't rub up against my legs. They don't mind. He rubbing all on them. And that's another thing. That's a part of my fear with animals is that they are boys.
William went to school. School where many African, West African countries leaders was training. Like our first president of West Africa, like the first president of Ivory Coast. He was training from school. Assalamualaikum. Ya. Banyak orang yang ada nonton, Bang. Bah. The school, they still on vacation, but we have what we call like a vacation classes. Because the vacation is so long. It's from June to October. And when it's when they're in September, they always want to give them like a classes the last month, and they,
call it learning loss.
Learning loss. Exactly.
We call it summer school.
Summer school, yeah.
To prevent learning loss.
Right, yeah.
Who's the educator over there? That's what it is.
Learning loss. Look at the little man. He's just independent. He independent. She got a strong back. Look how. Stop, Jay.
Diddy bop.
Jay, please cut it out. That's some DC stuff. Lord.
Completely different. In fact, if you watch, you can't even let the little kid out like that.
Exactly.
Look at him. He's just trouting along. He know everybody around.
His mother's not calling 911.
Nah, because Anna Mae gonna see him and whoop his tail if he get out of line. This is when the village was still raising him. Now they be like, did you hit my child? Do you know what your child did? That's Muslim, ain't it? Hamdulillah.
Are you doing that?
Yeah, he said Christians and Muslims here on
Yes, sir. Yeah, they have like 2 hotels, and they also have like some guest houses. All right here we just at the middle of the island, where you are able to see ocean on both sides.
Oh.
This is the 300 meters wide by 900 meters long. See? With 1,800 people. Ismaila.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Wow.
The French Quarter, this is just how the houses are,
Really?
Yep.
We have like 4 places like this in this country because those was a French town before we get our independence. Even like some local people who was born on those places, they were able to become a French citizen.
Wow.
Gorée Island, Dakar,
Rufus.
Saint Louis. Saint Louis is the northern part of Senegal, our first capital. It was the first French Western capital.
Nice. Thank you. No way. Yeah, they have such beautiful flowers everywhere.
People love to people love to create. This is the bottle.
Yeah, this is
it's
the
a
French
plastic
Quarter.
bottle. It's a plastic bottle, but it's just covered with a fabric. It's a wax fabric.
Wow.
People love to
Very creative.
Very creative.
DIYs. I need to get some of this view behind me. Wow. I'm about to get ready to do landscaping with my house. So this is just, this is just refreshing.
Like the jungle almost.
Oh, nice. We going that way? Yeah, I want to take a picture. Alpha, can I get a picture? You gonna get? Y'all, look at these trees, like thousands of years old. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And all the information, man, you just know it all. You know, you got a lot of good information.
And guys, in back in the day, during the slave trade, the biggest problem with this island it was a water problem. They were only collecting water from the rainy season and keep them in some containers. But sometimes in those containers where they were keeping the water, some rays, mouse, different parasites used to die, but they were doing what they were doing to our people. But at the end of the slave trade, during the colonization, and those Europeans, they don't keep water. And now everyone have water in their house, that's why they don't use water anymore. And the water they use in this island today, and also the power, the electricity, they both come from Qatar under the water at night.
Where? Oh, okay, I see it.
I should have bought my clothes.
Some things are consistent now. The clothes.
That's what I'm saying. That'll be
That's
good.
all over Ghana.
Back in the day.
Wow, look at this street.
And he was over 92 Q.
92 Q.
Yeah, 92.3. That's always a little.
Yeah, 92 Q, and then you have the, 92 Q and PGC used to be. Magic 95.9.
This was also the first French governor palace, but nowadays it's the theater. It's the theater of the island. This theater was renamed after the Boubacar Joseph Ndiaye. Boubacar Joseph Ndiaye was the first curator inside of the slave house. He's the one who used to tell the story inside of the slave house, but he passed away in 2008. If you want to go inside, you can go. 2-3 minutes.
Get Jay.
Sorry, what is this again? I kind of went away. This is what my mind kind of split
He
away.
said it's a theater now.
Oh, a theater. Okay.
But I couldn't hear what he said it used to be. Something for the slaves.
What did he say? It's a theater now. And previously it was the French.
I couldn't understand that part he said.
It's somewhere
But
where
this is gorgeous.
All right, Aleta, you got the whole stage. Go ahead and do your thing. Show us what you made of.
I'm not. This is so beautiful.
So what's the line? Come on.
Get in, please. Guys, let's get a group picture quickly.
On the stairs or where? Okay.
Front of the stage, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
I just keep in mind where this is.
And make sure like we have go here. That's right.
Look at this.
1, 2, 3.
All right, everyone, please, guys, come down and come close. Yeah, do you remember Master Collins? Yeah, last time. Oh, okay. The chief curator. Guys, this is Master Collins. I'll put it on the book. Get close to him, please.
So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Colin, C-O-L-Y, and I'm the chief curator of the House of Slaves. Welcome inside the famous and former House of Slaves of Gorée Island. And to say that the House of Slaves has been built between 1780 and 1784. So that is why the House of Slaves was one of the latest to be built in the island of Gorée. Because of the first edict from 1536 built by the Portuguese. The first Europeans to have set foot in Gorée Island in 1444. And during a very long time, this island was between rivalries of European nations battling to control the harbor. and the first Europeans to come to Gorée Island were the Portuguese, and then the Dutch, and the French, and the British, and the French again. After the abolition of the slave trade by France in 1848, the colonization replaced slavery in the slave trade, but finally, the French stayed in Gorée Island until 1960, date of the independence of Senegal. And during the full period of slavery in this very small compound, 150 to 200 people, men, women, and children, living separately in different cells according sex or age. And the duration of the stay for slaves usually was very, very long, because 3 months and more, since by the time they get only sailing boats as mean of transportation. And usually, captives left the slave houses with registration number, rarely with their African names. So that is why, when they arrived in the plantations in America, they took the names of the owners. So that's why usually black people in the US had Anglo-Saxon names. Brazil, Portuguese names, Cuba, Spanish names, Haiti or West Indies, French names. And also, since they separate men, women, and children, that is why inside one can see cells located on right and left that correspond to the typical cell reserved for men. That is why this one in the front was a typical cell for men. When you come closer, a very small cell because of dimension, 2 meters 60 by 2 meters 60, but inside 15 to 20 men. And usually they were sitting down all along the wall, back against the wall, shackles in the neck and the arms. But they freed them once a day. It was just in order to permit them to go outside of religious cells. But most of the time they live inside in so bad the sanitation conditions that the first plague, the epidemic, that ravaged the entire island of Gorée in 1779 took place from a house like this. Today, most of the houses are surrounding the island of Gorée, the famous slave houses. But during the slave trade, usually in slave houses, traders have had sex with virgin girls. And once a girl was pregnant, they freed her in Gorée Island or in Saint-Louis, the former capital of Senegal, located on the northern part of the country. And that is why in 1815, after the Biennial Congress, when Gorée and Saint-Louis was given back to France, many of the mulattoes became French citizenship. But now let's move to the next. That corresponds to the famous cell reserved for children. Kids from 6 years old until 17. And also a very small cell with a corridor leading to the bottom. And children usually lay down on the floor like fishes in sardine boxes. We have noticed that inside corresponds to the highest death rate. Also, what is particular once inside is the windows. The purpose of the windows was first to destroy the privacy. Secondly, to prevent escape. But also, we have to keep in mind that finally slave houses constitute the starting point of the destruction of the African family structure. Just because the final destination of the slaves was depending on the buyers. And for example, father could be sent to Louisiana, mother to Brazil, children to Haiti. The separation was total. Just to invite you to go in, watch your head and remind the step. You can go ahead, please.
I just
Go
did.
ahead.
Yeah.
So, sanitation, waste.
Wow. This is the slave dungeon in Dakar, Senegal. And these where they held the children at.
So everybody is just relieving themselves.
3 months.
How many people?
We don't know exactly how many people. We just know the capacity of the slave house. That was between 150 to 200 people, including children. The only thing we know is that they pack them like sardines.
Yeah.
Wow.
The drawings and
Yeah.
So children in these?
Only children. So the next Just on the back is corresponds to the famous cell reserved for the young girls. Reserved particularly for virgins, just because they separate women with young girls. But usually things come from the African custom, so that is why they reserve specifically standing prestige for virgin girls. And also virgin girls were more privileged than those slaves, because they were very expensive. And for example, they don't have to go outside for it themselves. That's why today one can see this big pavement. We show the former place reserved for the toilet. And for that time it was a kind of privilege. And also the bargaining was a kind of barter. But in terms of barter, the price of a child was something like a little mirror. And the price of a man was of 60 kg. Because of 60 kg usually corresponds to the time taken by boat, so to come from Europe to here. If they don't reach a 60 kg, they did not go to America, but they sold them in auction, and they stay locally as domestic slaves, particularly in this island or in San Luis. And under the stairs was where they put the rebellious slaves.
So this was the room for the virgins.
They use it as a punishment for slaves. No, we know, just an I don't know which part. But also the problem for the guards was not to know exactly how many captives it was possible to put inside at the same time. It is a door of the voyage without return, because when a slave steps up from the door, for the slave it seems, bye-bye, Africa. After the door was a kind of wooden bridge, and usually captives are used wooden bridge just a little, in order to catch small canoes from the bridge and go to the rocks, to go to the big ships, usually was far away. And also that is why one can see two first corridors on Logadian on right and left, where the slaves was kept before the departure. And also inside the last two corridors, usually were standing the guards. But they chose guards, no slaves. And once they go, they change them from the ankles, the 2 by 2. In the middle of the chain, between the two legs of the slaves, also was attached a very big iron ball, around 10 kilograms, 300 grams. And that is why, when a slave attempts to escape by jumping, for example, it can go far away, because he died by diving, or beaten by the guards, or eaten by the sharks. Due to the people who were sick or agonizing were thrown into the sea. And the slave trade in total lasted 300 years in Goree Island, from 1536 until 1848, during which 15 or 20 million of black people coming from all over the western coast, that left the western coast to Americas, North America, Central America, and South America, United States, Brazil, Cuba, Haiti, West Indies, and the Caribbean too. More than 6 million of them died because of deprivation or bad treatment, but we have noticed that the slave trade finally concerned only the best African ethnic groups of because selected. And also, as a reminder, we know now that during the same period, it exists in different places. That's why today, for example, one can talk about what's happened in Elmina Castle, that was in Ghana. And also the same thing was existing in Benin, particularly in all along the coast. Also in Nigeria, like Lagos, Badagry, Calabar. Also in Gambia, like Kunta Kinte Island or James Island. Even in Cape Verde, like Sierra Leone, included in Luango, Congo, Cabinda, Angola, even in South Africa. But why Goree particularly? Just because its position. The island of Goree is closest towards the American coast. So that is why usually most of the boats coming from different parts of the western coast come to this island. Not for embarking or disembarking slaves specifically. It was just the location of the island. That is why usually once in Goree, they take time to repair their boats or to look for food or water before shipping to America. And upstairs was reserved for traders. But now the big question is, how those people during the slave trade could live upstairs with what was happening downstairs.
Right.
And also today it is quite impossible to talk only about the Atlantic slave trade organized by the Europeans from Africa to America without talking about the Arab slave trade that took place in the eastern part of Africa. From the 11th to the 15th century, they chose as good harbor for slaves the island of Zanzibar. And they brought slaves from Zanzibar to island Mauritius, island of Réunion, Madagascar, Egypt, Asia, Arabia, included to India. In addition, concerning the Arab slave trade, I would like to mention the Trans-Saharan one that was from the 7th to the 19th century. But also, if in terms of period in history, the 7th corresponds to the French Middle Age. The African Middle Age corresponds to the 16th century. But it is also the 16th century that corresponds to the beginning of the West African slave trade, organized by the Europeans from Africa to Americas. And surely, it will explain most of the things. But to finish today, the slave house is quite a new center of democracy and human rights. So that is why we are together. And the necessity to give it particularly for the coming generation. It is finally a place where people come from different parts of the world.
Reflection space.
Brothers and sisters, just that we invite you to go near the door of the regional and open upstairs, just to see the difference, was existing between them and us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a waiting room. Another waiting room. And this is the door of no return.
That was right there in your picture.
Yes, photo bomb.
Oh, shit.
Wow. The door of no return.
Yes.
He said when you got to this door, it was bye-bye Africa. Wow. So I'm going upstairs. This is kind of similar to the Cape Coast dungeon. Huh? This is kind of where, like in the Cape Coast castles, they will be having church and laughing and fellowshipping at the top of where people were being tortured and starved. So this is a museum now, but he was saying this was similar to what was going on in Cape Coast. Amazing. 1816 to 1888. Wow. So our ancestors went through all of this so that we can fly right now. And we still got a ways to go, but I'm much free. I'm much happier just because of what they went through. Thank you to all my ancestors. I hope I'm making them proud. All right, all right. Very humbling experience.
We got everyone here?
Yeah, we got everyone here now.
All right, please, let's get a circle of this place over here. Because I want to, what we do is going to do like a small elevation to our ancestors who passed through during the slave trade. You can call anyone, and I'm calling to all our ancestors who passed through from the door of no return who went to America. Ashe.
Ashe.
From the door of no return to Jamaica. Ashe.
Ashe.
From the door of no return to all countries. To the mothers who lost their children,
Those who left out of the door, no return, and ended up in the plantations of the South. From the door, no return to the shores of Brazil and the Caribbean and Central America.
To my forefathers and my foremothers and all the children that didn't have a childhood, I show.
I'm not going to wait for them in this place.
Not at all.
Guys, this is a typically Senegalese art, which is called sand art pictures. And they working with a different part of the sand collected in the country, and also some of the sand also was collected some countries surrounding. And they all natural sands.
Wow.
And with Brother Sheikh and Masamba, they will give you a demonstration and explaining you where each sand will come from, to also to give you idea how to do this beautiful art, and he will give you a demonstration at the end.
Guys grabbing at you.
Yeah, then they make you feel bad because after you tell them no so many times, at some point you got to get aggressive, and then you're like, damn, like, just take my no or I'm the bad guy. Like,
Right. But I figured at this point I'm comfortable with getting aggressive because
they're
you've asked me
grabbing,
5 times,
yeah.
now you've earned it.
Now they're grabbing you. It's
Grabbing
like,
me,
please
you're
stop.
asking me 5
Please
times.
stop
I've
touching
answered
me.
you 5 times. I've answered you nicely 5 times. Now you deserve what you get.
Come, look at Jay. So wow,
Deserve what you get.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm finished for today. Thank you.
I just wish I knew. I'm gonna have to figure out Google Translate how to say in French.
No,
Well, no, I know that it's still no.
there's still no.
But how to say? I don't know. I've answered you. We're done.
I gotta
That's what I
film
wanna
Jay.
say. See, you notice that the ladies coming to me, man.
They don't hear you yet.
Fellas, I'm full now. I'm full.
I make you play this.
Yeah, man. I know when I'm on
Next time you play.
I want it.
Yeah, next time.
You have it more.
Jay keep rubbing his chest.
I know how to say no. No is not a problem.
Yes, I'm just being ignored when you say no. That's the problem.
That way, don't.